Everyone, this is Sandra.
Hello.
Sandra has been, oh, I can't hear you very well.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, but I might be like weirdly close to the camera to make sure that I can pick up what you're saying.
Okay.
Sandra, Hildegard's there. Hildegard, can you see if you can add yourself? Because it doesn't let me add Sandra, but it didn't let me add you. So whilst you're doing that, I'm going to ask Sandra some questions. So Sandra's been with us for the last couple of years, but you have completed the certification. So what I really wanted was for you to give a perspective on the global uni, but also a perspective on the certification. And you know, my clients always say to me, Hannah, what do we say? I'm like, I'm not going to tell you what to say, because I don't want you to say what you think that I want you to say. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want it to be fabricated. I want this to be real. Like, the people that join us are real people with real results. And so I feel like if I put this into a framework or whatever, I'm sure many marketers would tell you that I'm wrong, it would take away from some of the authenticity of it. So I'm just going to pass it over to you. What have been the biggest things that you've taken from the Global Union? What have been some of the biggest things that you've taken from the certification program?
Wow. Okay, so there are quite a lot of things.
Give it to me, baby.
I would say first about like the cert, because the cert, well, I just finished it and it's just been like the biggest mind-blowing experience I had in my life. And obviously I can talk a lot about it, you know, my experience, but it's more like the in-person that actually has like really like made a massive difference in my life. And especially last year when I had a lot of like things, you know, like coming up into my life, like you were saying, you know, like being in a contraction, you know, in the chaos, you know, and there are so many things that are happening all at once, and you can just like be in that state of fear and contraction and just really like stay in this small place. Actually, like the cert and the school has been helping me to actually like lean in and really like face all of the things that were happening in my life. You know, my mom passing away, like the fear as well of like coming into the in-person. You remember I was like petrified, and I was like 3 weeks after my mom passed away, so there was like so many things and internal conflict that I was having inside of me, and as well like wanting to really like step into my business and being fully like full-time self-employed as well, you know, was a big thing. So that was a really like big like whirlwind of like things happening, and having like, you know, like you know, Tamsin and everyone, you know, within the school, you know, like really holding me and supporting me, you know, in my transformation, you know, has helped me so much. Like when I went into the in-person, it was like, I can't even describe, like it was crazy. I never felt like this openness, you know, in me. And I think that was really like the catalyst, you know, for me, like taking like really like bold actions, you know, in my life, in my business, in my relationship with myself, you know, with my partner as well. Everything really like changed, and now I feel like I'm actually living like my best life so far. You know, I been able to actually like manifest insane things in my life, like the flat that I'm living in, you know, like the car as well that we just bought as well, like so many things. So there is, I mean, I've been 2 years here within the school, you know, like the uni, and everything really like compound, you know. It's like the small, you get like drips, you know, like of information, and I always take, you know, like I'm just surrendering, you know, like my body, my mind will take in like what needs, you know, to be for me at this moment, you know. And it's just like, it's all about the implementation as well. So yeah, you get the knowledge, but it's how you implement it into your life as well that actually create like the biggest ripple effect, you know. So being, you know, on a driver's seat. And for me, I feel like you've been teaching me, you know, to actually like own your power. Like you have the key within you to actually like you know, heal, you know, like and you just like in guiding me, you know, like to actually like unlocking, you know, the doors, you know, and getting rid of like my black bag, all the rocks in my black bag. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been absolutely like incredible experience, you know, and it keeps like compounding more and more and more every day. So I see evidence every single day, like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's working, you know, like it's, and trusting that there is like a time for gestation, like time, you know, for everything. So like trusting and surrendering and relaxing, you know, when you just want to escape into fear.
Go into fear. Yeah, I want to share some context for you guys about Sandra. So when Sandra joined us, she joined us firstly with the Energetic Accelerator, which is a energetic program that we've been running for a few years. And to begin with, because as you're in the school, some of you guys will do one round with us, some of you guys will do a bazillion round with us. We've got clients that have been with us for like 4 or 5 years, you know, since, well, 4 years since we've begun. Do you know what I mean? And so, and everything in between. We've got a lot of clients that have been with us for many years. But when Sandra joined us, I want to give you guys like practical, tangible context, because I remember speaking to Sandra when she was thinking of joining us. And at the time, what she wanted, her goals were very different. I don't know if you remember this, Sandra.
Yeah.
To where you are now. The goals that she had in her mind at that moment was like, I want to have a new car, and I want a new flat, and that was kind of like, those are the big things, and I want to do some of the personal development works, right? She had a full-time job, like that was the desire, that's where she was at. And one of my favorite manifestation stories from Sandra was the first time that she joined us. She'd been wanting this new home, and if you guys know any of my teachings, I'm a big believer in your home being a really important place that you feel good in, right? Because it's, especially if you work from home, right, it's like it is important, right? And Sandra had been wanting this dream flat with her partner for 4 years, was it?
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah.
4 years. 4 years, they'd be like, it's going to happen sometime maybe. And she joined and she started doing the energetic work. And it was like, boom, she got the car. Boom, she was able to pay for the school. Boom, she was able to pay for the flat.
And I had no money. And I had no money. Like literally what's happened is like I was petrified to like make a move because I never invested that much money in my life. Like, and first I was like the reaction of my partner. I was like, what is gonna say about me? You know, like I'm insane, I'm crazy. And it turned out he actually said like, follow like your gut, you know, like what your gut is telling you. And I was like so surprised. I was like, oh my God, okay. And then within that same week when I actually said yes, you know, like to lean in, you know, and like, okay, let's cross the terror barrier. I don't know where it's going, you know, like we don't have a home, you know, in like a week because we live in an Airbnb. We haven't found anywhere, you know, like we don't have a car, like literally we could be homeless next week. And I just like literally like, okay, I'm going for it. And the same week we actually found a car, like literally like the car of our neighbors, like the fraction of the price that actually we wanted to actually like invest in a car. And then we manifested the flat that we're living in now, which was like 4 years in the making, which we were so upset. And then we just literally like surrendered to it or whatever, you know, it just happened in the same week. And we actually like negotiated a price that actually like I felt was right for us. And the landlord said yes. And I managed to actually like find the money to actually pay for the school. And it was just like, it really blew my mind because I thought like, oh, this happened to everyone else, but it's not gonna happen to me. And then when I saw this happening without any expectation, because I literally like surrendered to it, I was like, yeah, fuck it, you know, like let's do it, you know, and I really trusted my gut. Then things like started to unfold, you know, like one by one, and not even like thinking about timing, because I wasn't like thinking about time, and it just really like blew my mind. And even like now, like the car, we didn't expect, you know, to have the car of our dream that we love, you know, for like the price we had, that was insane. So it's just like trusting, you know, like really like what your body is telling you, and being, like you said, you know, like the compass, you know, being the compass, you know, to actually like help you, not like from the mind, but really like from the body, and really like being, you know, in that place, rather than just being from here.
And so that was your kind of, you've got to imagine over a couple of years, there's a lot of time for a lot of things to happen. And I'm just going to speak, Sandra, if that's okay to you, to like the things that I remember in time. So I remember when you joined, there was that, and you're like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, this is happening. And then you joined the certification just a little bit before this last year. But what I want to speak to is like the awesome practitioner that you've become, because I think that's really important to highlight. And one of the really fun things that we do within the community is that our practitioners train with our global uni clients, right? So they've got to do a set amount of practice sessions before certifying. And who better than the people within the community to get a session, right? And Hildegard, we're going to let you on a little bit. I've just realized I can only do a live with one person at a time. So Sandra, I'll speak to you for a little bit, and then I'll swap with Hildegard if that's okay. But Hildegard, who you'll meet in a second, who's another awesome client, you did a session with her. So we teach trauma healing, but trauma healing done correctly is manifestation. Just it's taught shitly, basically. I don't have enough time to explain that, but I'm just going to plant that seed there. And so the process that we teach is trauma healing and manifestation. And Sandra, you did a really awesome process on Hildegard that really stuck out in my mind, because, well, actually, Sandra comes from physical body work, don't you? And I think the reason that you were interested in the practitioner training, and let me know if that's correct, was because we do all the other bodies, like hormones, nervous system, female health. Like, you're probably more experienced, I would say definitely more experienced than us in that realm, right? But you were looking for all of those different other modalities as well. And so tell me about the session with Hildegard, and the session that the type of sessions that you've been able to have with people since training with us.
Yeah, so like what you were just saying, I was looking for actually, like, because just doing from the body is actually incomplete. So I was looking for something that actually would be more complete. So when the client has an experience, it's like a whole 360 experience, you know, that actually like has a ripple effect in everything in your life. And then with Hildegard, we did, well, there is like different like modalities, and we're not gonna explain it, but like the one that we did was, I think, one of the most powerful, which is the inner child alchemy. And we, I mean, Hildegard can really speak to it if she wants to, but we went through that process, and it doesn't have to take long. And we really like went to uncover, you know, like deep rooted, you know, like childhood, you know, like wounding. And in 20 minutes, we actually like clear really a lot of stuff. And I knew that actually like something really big shifted, you know, in her, like, because I could really see it in her body, but as well like her vibration. So with like the certification, one thing that I want to say is, you actually, the more you practice, the more attuned you are from within your energy, and your psychic ability are being more heightened. And this what has been happening for me, like this past year, is really like my psychic ability have been like more heightened, and I'm being able to actually like be more present, you know, with my clients, and really like going deeper, you know, in a journey journey with them to actually like really alchemize and really transform and really like reprogram and recalibrate, you know, like their vibration and their nervous system, you know, and so they can really feel, you know, like the power like within 20 minutes. And then the more like they will, the more like, you know, they repeat, you know, their mantra, you know, that we create together, like that's what Hildegard did, you know, like it just like compounds energy, you know, and it blew my mind. And I knew when she texted me, like literally 2 days after, like, yeah, I got the car, you know, like I got the clients, you know, and I was like, well, I knew already because I felt it in her body, like.
It was a very funny like series of events, right? Because Sandra is a good student is like an understatement, right? So in all of the practice sessions, there was Sandra. So from all of the certifications, it was very funny timing because Hildegard did the session around, it was like whatever she did that she couldn't receive the car that she wanted, or there was something around. I remember, I know it sounds like we're talking about the car, right? And I haven't watched this session, so I don't know what happened. But it's not about the car. This is what I want you to understand in terms of healing. It's about there's part of you that is disallowing you to have what you want. And that's the wounded, hurt, blocked, whatever word you want to call it, part of you, right? And so the healing work doesn't try and fix an emotional problem by giving you a car. It fixes the emotional problem. And as a byproduct, you get to have the car. And this is very, very different because I don't believe that money or cars or any of that shit can fix anything in here. It can't. Right, it's another fucking rat race that you'll be on. But when you create from the inside out, right, and you clear something, you're creating emotional liberation as a byproduct of that. You get what you want. The universe and God wants to give you what you want. I believe that infinitely, whatever term you want to use, right? And so if you don't have it, there's something within you that's either not a match or scared to receive it or associates it with something negative, you know, like what we did with the sentences, right? And so what Sandra did with Hildegard is she found where in the system, right, there was a bug. She found a bug. That's the session.
And we closed the tabs. We just closed the tabs. That's basically what we did. It's just like closing the tabs of like what is keeping her stuck, you know, and we just literally opened a door for her to be open, you know, to receive the things that she desired, you know, and yeah.
And boom. And how many days was it? So Hildegard, how long, if you could put that, Hildegard's put the session was awesome, right?
Yeah, 2 days.
2 days, yes. Okay, so it was 2 days. So she'd gone from not being able to receive the car, right? It's weird, it's illogical shit, and it happens all of the fucking time, the global uni, right? Not able to find the car, not able to get the car in years, boom, clear, right, doors open, gets the car in 2 days. And so that's what I really want to land for you guys. It's like in your head, it's like, oh, the next level is going to take so much time, it's going to be so painful because look, in the last 4 years or 5 years or 1 year or 6 months, I've been able to do this, right? But like when the pathway is clear, the time becomes arbitrary. Because it's not about time. Manifestation has got nothing to do with time. Results have got nothing to do with time. It's all about frequency. It's all about being a match. Mm-hmm. My favorite thing that happened simultaneously is Sandra wanted a car. So apparently Sandra, around you, very car related.
I got it before, like literally like few days before. And then Hildegard told me about the car and I was like, okay. Like this is where I have been myself. So, you know, like actually like when you do a session with a client, you as well, you know, like heal a part of yourself. So it's a relationship. So you see part of yourself within as well the client, and it's powerful for the clients, but it's as well powerful for you. And it made me laugh. I was like, okay, like let's do it, because that was like lots of my session, you know, with the girls, you know, who were doing clearings. And then literally I manifested, you know, the car, and I was like, here you go. So now I can guide you, Hildegard.
Exactly. But weren't you feeling very stuck around the car, and then you had a session with someone else, and then suddenly boom, car? Like it was so funny. It was like in the certification for like a little period of time, everyone was getting a car. I was fucking hell. I still don't drive at 32. I'm not embarrassed to tell you guys, but apparently you guys, car is the medicine. Fuck knows, right? But it was, yeah, car expert, exactly. Which was very funny. And so Couple of last things, right? So Sandra, firstly, it was like those physical, practical manifestations. Then it was big focusing on like unblocking yourself, learning to unblock others, having that more complete idea of healing, which is why you did the certification. I want to speak to what the certification, because lots of people join us because they want to make more money and all of that. But like what you don't realize that you're getting is a complete rebirth, right? Of that you're getting a nod there. And then so the in-person was especially poignant for Sandra. Actually, Sandra and Natalie had just been in a hurricane, and she flew. I don't know if Natalie's here. If you are, hello Natalie, we love you. And then Sandra's, you know, again, I'm very jovial to talk about heavy subjects. It doesn't mean that there's not care. It just means that we're very used to talking about heavy subjects, right? But Sandra's mum had passed away 3 weeks prior, and it had been a very rapid diagnosis. It's happened to a couple of my clients. There's a diagnosis, and then a month later, there's a death, right? So it happened to another one of my clients a while back. And again, we were able to do, I'm actually a death doula. Many of you guys don't know this, and again, I'm not going to go into it, but it allowed I suppose the university held you in a process that society is uncomfortable with. And this is one of the big things that I felt, that healing needs to be in community. And I know we're digital and it's different, but the way that it worked being in person as you went through that, Adrienne, who's just done the cert, is I agree with the Reva. It's accurate marketing, isn't it? But everyone's rebirth is completely different. We actually need every single client to share their experience, right? Because the journey, you get what you need, like, and you know, when we're bringing clients in, it's different stages, different things. Like now, Sandra, her next up level and her next tarot barrier is going freelance. It's having her own business, right? Like that's the next thing, right? And so we've all got these. So firstly, it was things, then it was rebirthing, then it was holistic healing much deeper, then it was this transition. And for any of you guys that have lost a mother or a father, it's really a transition of becoming a parent to yourself. It is a big thing. It is a big thing. It's not quite a big thing. It's an extremely big thing. And it feels like one of your big pivotal foundational rocks has just left the world, right? So however close the relationship is, or that was my experience. So I know that you had the in-person experience with us, Sandra, and I know that she had a very psychic time. A lot of people have spiritual gifts come on board when they do the training. The thing is, if you're going through a literal loss portal, then sometimes they can be heightened. But what did it give to you? And I know you were very scared to come on the training. Everyone was very scared. I was completely unaware. I thought everyone thought we were going to have a great time, but we arrived and everyone was very frightened. And I was like, what did you think you were coming to? I'm just here, like, having snacks. Like, but no, in all seriousness, let me ask a serious question. What did that mean to you?
I was petrified. Like I tried to escape. To actually to come to the in-person because of the fear of like the unknown. And I think it was like the fear as well, you know, like of meeting who I am, truly who I am. And I remember you saying like to me while we were doing one of the process, like, which was wild, like, you are ready. That's what you said to me. That's what stuck in my mind. You are ready. Yeah, I was petrified because everything, you know, like prior to that, like since July, and obviously that was October, you know, like the in-person, everything was like snowballing, like chaos after chaos after chaos. And I felt like I was like, whoa, you know, trying to navigate so many things and try to just really like, I need to get my be together, you know, like for my family and everybody. And when obviously mom passed away, I had a really big epiphany, like and I think for a lot of people it would be weird, the experience that I had, because I didn't really like my way of grieving was actually like, what is this teaching me? And I really, it has been like the biggest lesson in my life, you know, so far. And the way I've been grieving, you know, has been so helpful, and it's thanks to actually like the cert and the global uni as well, because I had all of the tools, you know, like, you know, to actually like help me navigate this big stage of my life. Like you said, like you're not a daughter anymore, like you becoming like the archetype of the mother, so you have to step up as a new identity. It's a rebirth, and the whole last year felt like literally like a rebirth. And obviously the in-person like experience was just like, go for it, girl, like poof poof everywhere, all my ancestors coming and really like holding me, and just it was the most beautiful experience I had in my life. And I'm really like grateful and cherish that every single day. I'm thinking about it like every single week, like, oh my gosh, this is a gift that has been given to me, and it has really opened something in me, that I'm just loving life. I'm loving who I am, and really like following my joy, and that's what mom, really was saying to me, like, follow your joy, follow your compass, follow like what really like drives you, and, like nourish you, and I decided after like the in-person, like, what, fuck it, I'm just gonna be like self-employed. I don't want to do like a 9 to 5 anymore. I just want to do something bigger in the world, and build a legacy, for like my family, for my mother, because it's important to me. So yeah, it's the biggest journey that I ever taken, and it can feel like quite scary, but when you go through it, you're just like, wow, I'm so happy actually I did it. Like, wow, like
I did it.
I did it. I did it. Yeah, like 2 years ago, I would have thought like, nah, you crazy. All of this? No, it won't happen. Like, wow, I trusted it and surrendered. And here you go. Like, I got so many beautiful gifts from it, and the medicine.
There's two things that I want to finish on, Sandra, and I know we could talk for much longer, but I want to make sure that Hildegard comes on and she can share. But the first thing that I want to share is the reason that I wanted to bring Sandra up, and also, with her in-person experience, was that for some of you guys, the resistance that you feel to making this next level commitment isn't money per se, even though your mind might tell you that it's not safe. Some of you guys, like, money's not a big thing for you, like you've got lots of money and that's cool. But what might feel frightening is that personal development, the way that we do it, is like, and I think Sandra, you could speak to this, I'm not going to tell you to sparkle a turd, I'm going to tell you to clean your turd up. Do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of teachers out there, and it's not good or bad, but there's different styles, and it's like, in the certification, it makes me laugh. Like every time I debrief people, I know that everyone's going to cry, and I'm like, what should I even say? But yeah, exactly. Sandra's like, I cried. But my specific style is very piercing. Would you agree with that, Sandra? And the fact that I cut straight through, and
No
so
bullshit. No bullshit. You go straight to the point, and I think that's why we love you, because you're not bullshitting. You're not going around corners. You're just like, no, I'm telling you, but there is in a nice, loving way as well. So it's not like, like you should do this, 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 this. It's just like, I think it is really like meeting you like from like your next level, rather than in your, like scarcity, if you can say. So yeah.
it's a big thing. I'm not going to have a pity party for you. I can feel sad, I can empathize, I can hold compassion. I've experienced deep suffering, fear, and all of these things in my life as well, right? But I'm always going to call you higher. And I think sometimes when you've got teachers, or I think back to when I've had teachers, and the thought of, oh my God, they're going to see me, has felt so terrifying. So I think we want to really anchor into, it's not from a place of judgment, it's from a place of really, really deep love. It really is from a place of deep love, but it is deep work that we do in all of it, actually. None of it is really fluffy. It really is like, we go granular. And so yeah, for some of you guys, that might be the fear of like, oh, I've done personal development till now. I'm not saying this is everyone. If you don't resonate, cool, leave what I'm saying, but I've done personal development until this point and it's felt safe, right? And some of you guys digging deeper into the deeper stuff might feel scarier, and for some of you guys, allowing yourself to have more of the stuff might feel scarier, but really it's still going to be a terror barrier. It's still the psychological process. Whatever comes up is just your own shade of resistance, really. And so yeah, the certification is great if you want to go deeper into your own work, right? We've got people that do it for themselves. And it's also it's a really beautiful, intimate little community, okay? And you get the in-person experience, right? But the certification in-person experience is like none of the other in-person experiences, because it is very deep and everyone's been preparing themselves really for this in-person experience. So you're able to receive the teachings in a very different level, which is, again, we don't do superficial. That's why I prefer a year commitment for everything, because I'm like, what comes up in a month, you can't even imagine what's going to come up in 12. You can't imagine. You can't you've no idea. Like, you might know that you want things, or you want to make more money, or you want to do that, but like in the global uni, become more of you. Like, it's not just, yes, you can have the things. We've talked about the car, we talked about all of this stuff. You can, Hildegard's going to speak about more of like the business experience, because she came through primarily that business lens, right? Even though I know Sandra did, but there was other things first, right? And so the point is, what you're going to get, it's like Sandra says, the toolkit to deal with life. And that's what I felt that I didn't have when I hit hard things like my mother's death as well, right? And you know, I joined that shamanic training during my mother's death, and I didn't realize in that year, Sandra, you've ridden this wave very differently to I did. I was extraordinarily chaotic. You guys have no idea. Like, I literally didn't know who I was for 12 months, and I just felt like, well, maybe you have experienced a bit of this, Sandra. Like, I was just walking into very heavy wind for a long time. I found it very destabilizing. But this work of understanding the soul level, the karma, the everything else that's not mentioned in manifestation saved me. And that's the last thing that I want to leave this particular segment on, is that it might be better for sales for me to just talk about the things that Sandra manifested. But the truth is, however good you get at manifestation, you cannot manifest away being human and having a soul's journey. You can't manifest away your karma. It's like, Sandra, if she was manifesting, her mother would have still died. And I know that sounds like a really painful thing to hear. And I didn't want to accept that for a long period of time. I thought, if I could be super perfect and I found everything, and I thought of all the things that I could have changed in my childhood to mean that didn't happen, the chances are it would have happened. There are things that happen. And so we want to be good at controlling what we can control, but we also want to be good at looking after this when things happen that are challenging and difficult and painful. And for me, the work that we do, and whatever program you choose, is both. Sandra, I love you.